Right, we'll move on now to the U.S. where the stock index futures pointed to a relatively flat to slightly lower open on Thursday as investors geared up for a cluster of data releases. In the political sphere, it is reported that a U.S. president will meet with a second round of tech executives and venture capitalists today. On the data front, jobless claims are due out at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time, followed by the FHFA House Price Index at 9 a.m. and the Kansas City Fed Manufacturing Index expected at 11 a.m. Elsewhere, the Federal Reserve Board is set to release the results from the latest supervisory stress test conducted as part of the Dodd-Frank Act. And Asian markets closed sideways after cautious trade today as oil prices declined further. The Nikkei 225 reversed earlier gains to close lower by 0.14% and the Kospi rose 0.54%. Australia's ASX 200 climbed 0.71%. On the mainland, the Shanghai Composite declined 0.29% and the Shenzhen Composite fell 1.29%. In the meantime, oil prices rose today for the first time in 3 days after U.S. crude and gasoline stockpiles fell. But investors are looking for more signs that output cuts by OPEC and some other producers are ending a 3-year glut. Brent crude futures were 9 cents higher at $44.91 a barrel after falling 2.6% in the previous session to their lowest since August last year. U.S. crude futures were 12 cents higher at $42.65 a barrel. And the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation says an Indonesian engineering firm, PT Intim Pakasa, is interested in building a refinery in Nigeria. Nigeria has been seeking investments in the sector to reduce reliance on imported oil products that consume a large portion of the OPEC members' scarce foreign currency reserves. NNPC says the company's interest is in building a modular refinery in the southern Akwa Ibom state. It will have a refining capacity of 10,000 barrels per day. And rating agencies Moody's has warned that the new regulations seeking to accelerate black ownership in South Africa's mining industry will deter investment, raise costs and diminish cash flow generation. Moody's says Anglo-American, Anglo-Gold Ashanti, Gold Fields, Petro Diamonds, Simbaye Gold and South 32 will be the most negatively affected miners if the revised mining charter is implemented. The government published its revised mining charter on June 15, raising the minimum threshold for black ownership of mining companies to 30% from 26%. And the latest investment index developed by research firm Quantum Global has shown that Botswana ranks the #1 investment destination in Africa out of the 54 African economies. This is followed by Morocco, Egypt, South Africa and Zambia. The team lead of Quantum Global Research Lab, Professor Tuli Nkube, explains that high investment risks and slow growth is responsible for economies found at the lower end of the ladder.
Egypt, just like Nigeria, you can't walk away from Egypt. 100 million people, it's a lot of people, highly enterprising, so the size of the economy, the demographics also favor Egypt. Egypt is a bit of a comeback kid, by the way, especially after the dip from the Arab Spring. It's a comeback kid, so but you cannot ignore that. And the #4 is South Africa. Although on the credit rating indicator, South Africa is actually on its way down. It is pulled up by the size of the economy, but also the ease of doing business indicators and the macroeconomic fundamentals. Inflation is still under control. It doesn't hover too far away from the 3 to 6% band. Cote d'Ivoire, I don't know whether colleagues from the media have been watching what they've done with the latest bond issuance, Euro bond issuance a few days ago. It was about $3 billion with favorable pricing, despite the political challenges they've been facing, especially with the military. A month or so ago, when they're out in the streets, very unhappy. They still manage to do well in the market. The markets see them differently from just a short-term political challenges. Also remember, Cote d'Ivoire is within the CFA zone, so the exchange rate risk within Cote d'Ivoire, for Cote d'Ivoire, are on the low side. So it does well for a variety of those reasons. Algeria, again, does well on social capital factors, size of the economy, import cover. Tanzania, growth, again, demographics. Namibia, which is a small economy, so in terms of size of population, size of economy, doesn't do too well at all, but does better in other variables. And Burkina Faso as well is in that top 10.